strength training for the upper body we're going to do with a resistance band, and we're going to take the resistance band, wrap it round the back so it comes to the front under our armpits. We're going to hold the band with our fists by the armpits and we're going to push straight forward. You'll feel this on the arms, you'll feel it on the shoulders, and you'll feel it across the chest. We're aiming to do 10 exercises here, 10 of these if that feels okay. Standing tall, pushing right out in front. And then after those 10, we're going to take the band and we're going to hold it above the head with the arms about shoulder width, and we're going to pull down, but as we're pulling down, we pull outwards. So there's tension in the band coming widthways as you pull down. For all these moves, if you can, stand up tall, really hold your back and your neck long, try and keep the neck and the shoulders relaxed, and pull down and out at the same time. You might feel a little bit of work going on in your tummy muscles as you do this, as well as in the arms and the shoulders. With all of these moves, I'm doing 10 repetitions of everything. On the ones where I'm going to do things single-sided, I'll do 10 on each arm. And here we're going to do a lateral raise. So we're going to anchor the end of the band right under one foot. Here I'm using my right foot. And we're going to hold the band, starting with the band down, with the fist rather, down by the hip, and we're going to bring the arm up until the fist is about shoulder height. You don't need to go too high with this one. Feeling it in the shoulders, the arms, and under the armpit. One of the beauties of using a resistance band rather than, say, a weight is that these are really, really adjustable. So, here I'm changing to the other side. Feel your way. We're trying to do 10 repetitions of everything here, but if you find that the band is too slack, so you could do far more than 10, you can just shorten it a little bit. Just slide your hand further down it to make the band shorter, and it will give you a little more resistance to work with. Likewise, if the exercise feels too difficult, make the band longer. And then to a triceps press. So here I'm going to anchor the band in the base of my spine. I'm going to hold my bottom hand still, and then I'm going to bring the band in a straight line right above the head. So I'm straightening my arm. I'm using my elbows, because when we use the elbow, that activates the triceps in the upper arm. And I'm trying to bring my fist right up the midline so that the band goes in a fully vertical line towards the top of my head. And again, changing sides and bringing the band right up the middle of my head. Next we move to a shoulder press, so a big move for the strengthen the shoulders and the arms. You're holding the very end of the band with the short end by your thumb, long end coming down towards your little finger, and then stand really heavily on the other end of the band. We're then going to stretch the arm right above the head. Big move this. See if you can do this standing tall with your tummy gently drawn in, but standing up, neck and shoulders and back are long but relaxed, and stretch right above the head. Do make sure, by the way, that your foot is really firm under the band each time, because otherwise it can ping off. But again, 10 big stretches, taking the arm straight up if you can. Sometimes this might feel different on one side of the body compared to the other if you've had surgery, but this is a good big stretch upwards. Next, we're going to do a rowing movement. So we're going to sit and we're going to wrap the band around the arch of both feet. Make sure it's on the arch of your feet, not your toes, because it can ping off your foot as soon as you start pulling. But then once the band is secure, we're going to sit up tall and we're going to draw both fists back past the ribs, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Feeling this as a movement in the upper back, the shoulders and the arms. Make sure you're not rocking using your hips. You're just sitting tall and pulling back. Anytime you need to, stop, take a drink, take a rest, pause whenever you need to. But it's important that we stay hydrated while we're exercising. And then from there, a second rowing movement, this time called an upright row. So we're going to put one foot in front of the other and anchor the band underneath that front foot. And then standing really tall, we're going to pull both hands, both fists quite narrowly up the middle of the body. The fists follow the elbows, so the elbows are always highest and the fists want to be relatively close together, almost as if you were doing up a really wide zip. And then a strange little movement. This is for flexibility and range of motion in the shoulders and chest muscles. So you want the band quite slack doing this. Start with it quite loose and then keeping the elbows really near to the ribs. We're going to rotate both arms outwards away from each other, but keeping the elbows nearby. So it's, as I say, it's a curious movement this. You'll feel rotation in the upper arm bones and probably, hopefully, a stretch across the chest and the front of the shoulders. Next, it's what's called a front raise. This is quite a small movement, okay? And you want the band, the end of the band, going from your thumb towards your little finger and with your palm facing downwards. Stand on the very end of the band. Again, you'll need this to be quite long, and gently, standing tall, as we do right through this, standing tall, bring your arm in front of you to shoulder height. Don't take it much higher than that. This is a really controlled movement and it takes more strength than it might seem, but a big movement, arm right out in front of you. And then we change for the other side. Again, make sure that the band is firmly anchored under your foot. And then finally in this routine we have what's called a chest fly. Drape the band widely over your back and then coming forward across the inside of your elbow to hold the very end. And then can you draw your hands towards each other in a big, wide, sweeping movement? Try and squeeze your chest muscles. Try and squeeze the front of the shoulders towards each other, not rocking with the hips, keeping the rest of the body quite still, but this is a big, wide movement for the chest muscles, for the front of the shoulders. And that's our simple upper body strength routine done. Well done.